Well, hello everyone. After a lot of frustrating days, I decided to put this video together. I bought a new mount last week, the AZ EQ5 GT. That's about the last mount I think left in Australia. You can't buy Skywatcher anywhere here, and they're talking about can't get anything from the US till about Christmas or January. So anyway, I was lucky to get this one, but I had a heap of problems with Ascom. That would not know way it would connect up to the telescope. I had about 8 or 9 different types of errors, from timeout to invalid parameters, so forth. I had one of the techs from Melbourne, Adriano from Testar. He logged into the computer and he tried his hardest as well and tried every parameter, and I think he what I clicked on today, what fixed it, I think he went there, but we'd done something else. So with Ascom, when it's working fine, it's fantastic, but when there's a problem, it's you don't know where to look or where to start. So anyway, I'll go through the different programs and show you how to set them up, and hopefully everything works properly. So we're going to set up EQMOD here, and then we'll come down to the toolbox. Now you right click on that, go to more and run as administrator. Press yes. Okay, so we've got this dialog box here. So next, every time you load this up, you always got to click register. It's got success. You go to driver setup and this opens up. Now this is where all the problems were. Now the only thing I changed, this was 1000, I made it to 2000. There's only 2 settings there. The retry was 1, I went to 2. And this is what fixed my computer. The baud rate, every time you look at most of the Ascom setups, it's 9600, the baud rate there. But for some reason I pressed this one and see, no, not that one, that one, and just see what it does. It's picked out the COM port 3. You could always double check if you're not sure. Go to device manager and have a look down here. So there's, I'll run through a hub. So I've got a prolific USB serial COM port 3. So all that area there is correct. The other one that was creating probably 80% of the problems was this area here. Now you've got to make sure you put your parameters for your latitude longitude in properly. I had an extra couple of numbers in one of these, and you can't see them because they're such small boxes, and it was giving me invalid parameter. So anyway, just make sure when you're populating these that you got your right coordinates. Now I've got mine always written down, it's on the computer, and observing coordinates, and there they are there, mine are. So it's written down, and I've got other observing sites on there as well. So all that there is correct. You press OK and Ascom Connect, and there it goes there, the mount, the deck where it's sitting, it's all in there. So I can park it, but I'll keep forgetting, so I'll just minimize that. This one here, I don't know what's up with it. There's no minimize there, but if I press close here, it'll close off the entire Ascom. So at the moment I'll just rest it down here. The next thing is Carte du Ceil. Again, more, run as administrator. Okay, just double check on telescope, go to your settings. Once this is done the first time, that's it. So press OK. Telescope, connect telescope, and connect. Alright, so that's all connected. So that's where we are. So we're in the south, and I'll turn this off now because I'm going to show you how to connect to Stellarium. So you can't have two planetariums open. So I'll close this off, and we'll go to Stellarium now. Stellarium, go to the EXE one. More, run as administrator. Alright, there's my Skywatcher there. So we'll launch. I don't know why this isn't highlighted, so that's your telescope there. So to move this, if you go to a star there, say Canopus, go to current object, it's populated that area there. So if you look at the coordinates, it matches this one, and you'll go to slew. Okay, so it's there, and you just sync. And there you go. And that's basically about how this works. The only fault I find with the Stellarium, I don't know whether it's my display settings, but the minimize is way up here. So press F11 to minimize it, and there it is there. So I'm going to minimize Stellarium. The next thing we're going to do is PHD for guiding. There, right click and run as administrator. Press yes. Now click on the connect button down on the left here. So I'm not going to connect back my camera, but this one's on EQMOD, connect, and it's connected. So we'll close that, minimize it. So that's all your planetarium programs. Now we're going to go to Nina, and I'm really impressed with Nina. It's an excellent program. I think it's going to be one of the biggest take-ons this year. It's the development team is working constantly on it and improving, and when you see the interface, how easy it is, this is it. So I was using SkyX, and it becomes cumbersome. You know, everything's on one page, and I especially with camera and all that type of stuff. So when you go to set up Nina, you go in the options tab. So So this is the general information. So once you populate all these equipment imaging, plate solving, it makes you a profile. So it just loads your same profile each time, or you could have different profiles. So over here, your general information, your Skywatcher and the William Optics 102 triplet. Here you put where your Sky Atlas repository is, and where the framing cache is going to be, or where it is. The other thing is the user interface on this is just fantastic. You can just about change anything on here. I changed all the buttons to red, and it's got a dark background, and it'll be easy enough to see in the observing area at night. But here you've got all these presets here, you know, so you can change all the buttons, and you know, you've got navy there as well, classic. It's a bit bright, so you really can't use that when you're out in the field. But I like the high contrast, black background, white writing, and the red buttons. The astrometry, here you put northern or southern hemisphere. Here you get, all you do is once your planetarium's connected, press that and it populates that area there. So it says their coordinates acquired from Stellarium. And that's it on that. So the equipment tab, you put your pixel size of your camera here, your bit depth 16, Bayer pattern. I'm not quite sure whether you leave that on auto or whether you click on one of the other RGB or whichever one it is. So I'll leave it on auto. And here the telescope, the focal length of actually this should be the telescope name, not that should be okay. So that's got that in there. Focal length, focal ratio, focuser, I don't have one. The weather, I use open weather. I'll show you that bit later on. And you need to get an API from API key. Filter wheel, I don't have one. Guide settings, you put the directory where PHD is hiding, and that's about it. Preferred planetarium, I've got Stellarium there. You can have Carte du Ceil, Sky X, or I don't know about Hinsky, I haven't seen that one. So I'll leave that as that. The imaging, so this is where you choose your format that you want. So I've got FITS files there. The image path where you want to save it to, you click on there. Now this area here is the information that I want when I get my images. Now on there it'll have the target name, the date, filters, time, sensor temperature, exposure time, and the guiding information. Over here I've just got auto meridian flip enabled to on. I'm not quite sure about these. I'll fill in this one yet. The side up here, image options, the sequence where they're stored, and also got to populate this where the sequence template is, and the run command. So that's the setup for there. So then the next one is for your plate solving. I use ASTAP. It's one of the newer ones, but it's brilliant. You've got a few others to choose from, Plates of 2, All Skies Plates, so they're all good, but this one's coming up really well. Blind Solver, I've gone from Astrometry net. When you go there, you've got to get an API key, which is, I got mine there, and that's about it. So next thing we'll do is go into equipment, and this is where we log on or power up. So there's my main camera here. I'll just connect, and now it fills in all this area. So over here you've got your cooler power and the chip temperature. Over here is where I've got it set at -17. I've got to put in the warming area as well down here. And the camera settings, your default gain and USB limit offset. So that's in the camera. Filter wheel, I don't have one, but for those that will have all this, you've got all this connections. Focuser, electric focuser, rotator, telescope I have. So it's connected to the EQMOD HE56. And here we're going to bring the coordinates from the telescope to Nina, and down here it tells you telescope connected. Okay, so it gives you all your information on your scope and the site latitude, longitude, your right ascensions, declination, everything's there. You can move your scope from here, or you could put your manual coordinates in here and slew. Then the next thing is your guider, PHD2. It says it's not connected, so we'll press connect. Now it's connected. The pixel scale, I've got to change that. It's I think it's 4.2 on the guider. Switch, that's got to come yet. They haven't done that yet. There's no information on that. So the flat panel, those of you who will be using flat panel, that's all there. And this is the weather app. So this is how it works. So once you've got your all set up, you'll just connect, and there's your it refreshes every 10 minutes. So at the moment temperatures, it's gone up 2 degrees. It's 9.46 degrees Celsius. It's got your dew point. Cloud cover is 40% outside. Your wind directions and humidity, and the pressure outside is 1028 kilopascals. And that's about all there is for there. So the next thing is your framing. Here you can look at bring in coordinates from your planetarium, and you've got all your parameters and all that there. You've got your sky atlas here. What's that? M31 should be up till about midnight down here, which is the Andromeda galaxy. We don't get it very much. As you can see, it's very low in the horizon. Comes to about 6 degrees for us because we're so far south. If we're say up at in Queensland and all that, that's a little bit better up there, but for us down these lower latitudes, we don't get it much. But at the moment, so you could set this as a sequence target. You could press that, and there's M31. So you populate all this area here. If those who got filter wheels and all that, you can populate all these areas. So the way to do that, so that's your lights. Then you add another one. This one might be darks, and then you can do another one. and this is how you do your sequencing. And I'll just move that, and that's about it. You know, it's a really easy program, and this is your imaging, where you do your main imaging from. And this is what I like, it's all on one page, which is fantastic. So here you do your focusing and all that. You've got autofocus, or you can do it manually. Your graph down here for your guiding, and that's about it. Everything's really well set out on this, so that's about it. So we'll go back to the equipment tab, camera. I'm going to disconnect that. Okay, we'll go to telescope. We'll disconnect that. Okay, and the guider, disconnect, and that's about it. So we'll shut Nina down. Okay, and this one I've got to try and find out what's going on with that. Go to disconnect, PHD, Stellarium, and Ascom. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully others won't have the headaches that I did. I know a lot of the forums and cloudy nights and Stargazers Lounge, and down here is Ice in Space. A lot of them has just got constant problems with Ascom and those kind of errors, and hopefully there'll be enough watching this to help them out. So till next time, see you later, and thanks for watching.